this is going to be rather an involved video because date and time is a concept in Excel that is that can be complex sometimes. So we are going to look into date and time in depth and understand how we can manipulate date and time to meet the requirements of your project. So let's start with date, and same principles will be applied on time as well as we understand more and more about date, right? So what is a date? Date is actually a number at the back end, right? Why do I say it's a number? So let's start with the date. Right now, when I use control semicolon, it gave me a date automatically. Like it filled the cell with the date that was selected. So now what I have here is today's date, 21st January 2025. Okay. Now, first of all, let's look at the format of the date. So if I do a control 1, so if I change to this format, this this is the sample that you see here, and if I click OK, you would see that the previous date has been changed to this format. And in the similar way, what I can do is I can go to this general, okay, and click OK. And before I do that, you will see the sample is 45681. Okay, what is this? This is the number of days since January 1st, 1900. So that means Excel saves dates as number of days starting January 1st, 1900. Okay, let's look at the proof. If I type in 1 and if I say change it to date, you would immediately see it's 1st January 1900. Now the question is what will happen if I say 0 and what will happen if I say -1, right? So let's convert these, right? So it says 0, 1, 1900. So that's so 0 is the starting point of 1st January 1900, and that's why it says 0. And if I look at -1 and if I do it, it will basically give an error. So any negative number cannot be converted into a date or time. Right? So at the back end, Excel doesn't know what is a date before 1st January 1900, and that becomes the driving point when you try and manipulate date and time. Right? Okay, so let me delete all of this, okay, and put in today's date once again. Right now, few of the use cases with dates is that we want today's date and then tomorrow's date and so on, right? How can we achieve this? Every calendar date in Excel is equivalent to 1, right? So if I take this date and add 1 to it, and when I say 1, it basically understands that what you are adding is 1 day and it becomes the next day, right? If I apply the same formula to this, I'll get a series of dates if I want to. Now, I can do the same thing by negation of the day. So I can get previous date by negating 1 day out of the date, right? And so on, right? So I can get a series which is in ascending order or descending order depending on the use case, and this will help you to manipulate the dates and so on, right? Another use case would be if I take today's date and if I want to know the next day or date after 1 week. So I can do +7 and it will give me the next week's date, right? And so on. I'll give you one more use case. Okay, so let's do a problem. Okay, and the problem is I want to get next date and so on, but my condition is no weekends, right? So let's put in the first date, okay, and then I will do +1 and so on. Okay, now there is a formula called text. Okay, and what the text formula can do is it can convert a value to a specific custom format, right? So we already know from control 1 or the formatting of the cell that you can convert any type of number or text into a format which is inbuilt within Excel, right? And it also should make sense, right? So we cannot say that 1 should be converted to A. That is not possible. Or A to be converted to 1. Okay, that is not possible unless you do some mathematical operation on it. So what we do is we can do a logical formatting on any kind of data to any kind of data set. The only thing it should make sense, right? So now what we have as value, okay, so text formula takes two inputs. The first input is the value, which is date in this case, and the formatting text is whatever you can extract from this date. You can basically convert that into a number or text or whatever, and you can get the value here, right? Okay, so what we can do is, so we can extract days, okay, from the date, okay, triple D, okay, let me go back, okay, and copy this whole thing here once again so that I can show you exactly what I mean, right? So in date, if I do custom, right, you would see dd/mm/yy, right? What does it mean? That two digits of date, two digits of month, and four digits of uh, year, right? So I can change it to basically any format. So let's say dd and then hyphen instead of slash, and then mm. I can do triple M for 3-letter month. I can do 4M for entire text of the month or full name of the month. I can do single M for single digits, and single M would also mean that if your month has two digits such as 10, 11 or 12, it will show it completely like full, 10, 11 and 12 and so on. Uh, Same thing for dates. So if I do 3D, it will show me the day. If I do 4D, it will give me the full name of the day, right? And so on, right? So let's put it back to DDMM and then YYYY, right? And this is a much more simpler format, at least in my point of view, right? So now let's get back to text. Okay, I take this date and extract 3-letter day of the week, which is Friday, and so on, right?